see what happens. I don't know if this is overkill. Greetings, by the way. Greetings, greetings, greetings. I don't know if this is overkill. I don't know how it's going to come out, but it's actually something that I kind of wanted to try recording wise, like in the studio setting, because there are actually mics. So the mic I want to upgrade to, and some people might not say that's really an upgrade, but probably a lot of people would say it's an upgrade. To go from a manly reference, just a normal manly reference, not the silver or the gold, but just the regular manly reference, right? Because it's not always about the money, but at the same time, if there's a lot of recognition, generally, you probably want to listen to that, you know, because there's something about that. So to go from a manly ref, a Sony C800G, I think a lot of people would say that is in fact quite an upgrade, you know. But there are also mics, and it's not really coming to my mind right now. This one mic I have in mind, which it literally comes with, it's like two mics in one. It actually has two mics in one, right? So it's like an actual true stereo mic, right? And that's what I'm like. I always kind of wanted to do that, just to hear like what a true stereo recording for vocals will come out sounding like. And hopefully this comes out right, but I am actually doing that right now. Like I literally have two mics on right now. That's why I'm like, is this, is it overkill? I don't know. But I'm interested, you know? I'm interested in seeing, well, in hearing what two mics would actually sound like, you know? So hopefully you can hear me, and hopefully someone comes in and says, yeah, the audio is fine. But I want to know what a truly stereo sound, because I got the settings on stereo, so it should be interesting. So today's topic, and I'm not going to do too much talking. Today's topic is about not one pull-up was done. Okay? And, there are folks that come in and say, at least I'm pretty decent, not just in social media, but out here in the streets, in just real life, interacting with folks and knowing the difference between just negativity and hate and like actual constructive criticism. And when it comes to constructive criticism, I am always going to listen to that. I'm always going to pay attention to that. I'm always going to remember to take heed to it, because it's important. If you're giving some sort of advice and it's something you as a person, it's being directed to, then yeah, you should look from within and say, this person even if the person is just a random like person you don't know, they're seeing you and they're like pulling you over to, because I remember when I was younger, right? And I'd go to the gym and old timers would be like, hey, listen, young buck, that weight is too heavy. Sometimes it was the approach, right? It was like, especially when you're younger and you're in the gym and you're trying to do your thing, and then somebody pulls you over and it's like, sometimes it like they almost try and like put you down in front of people. It's like, yo, that's too heavy for you, young buck, and it's like, you trying to play me right now, in front of other people. But as I got older, it's like, now it's like, it's similar in a sense, because sometimes people just try, like here in social media land, here in YouTube land, people are trying to play you, where it's like, hence the title here, right? Not one pull-up was done. Okay. That's like, I'm not saying necessarily that it's like bringing me back to that time and it's triggering me, where it's like that young buck, that's too much weight for you type of thing. But again, it's kind of like the approach. There's a difference between constructive criticism and you're just straight up negative trying to play someone, So today, after this little monologue right here, right? This is my little Arsenio Hall minus the comedy going in to preface what's about to do. Yeah, thanks for exactly what, case in point, right? Because I'm sure you're a stunning person in real life. If, and matter of fact, I would love to have you come in and allow everyone to see what you look like, And no, sometimes it's good to age gracefully, however that is, So I'm sure you're a stunner, and it's usually the people that have the brightest comments that are the lookers and the doers, It's almost, it almost never fails. So, and that's, like I said, case in point, because this is how you show and prove. You take the negativity and then you show how ridiculous people sound for their hateful comments. Sometimes you shrug it off, but sometimes you just gotta show and prove to have people eat their words. And that's what today's live stream is about. It's about showing, proving, and having people eat their words, Not that you have to do that. No, I don't have to do anything. But sometimes it's about, if I could just find parking, I'm gonna hop out and show and prove in a minute. But I just got to see where I can do so I can make it happen. As soon as I'm able to do that, I will do so. Okay, this might be a good place. Let's see if I can park here. Again, it's always the random, anonymous people keyboard warrioring, if I can just put it that way, But like I said, I would love to have some of these folks come in so that, the same way they judge, let's all judge. And let's see how let's see what the people say. Because like I said, it's usually the folks that are like, it's like as soon as you see what they actually look like or what their capabilities are, it's like you're judging. You're actually judging. Like, come on now, you know? And it almost never fails. Okay, I found my parking. We're gonna make this happen. Okay? Just gonna show and prove. Like I said, that was the monologue. There's not too much talking. We're just gonna do what we have to do, you know? We're gonna make it happen. So I talked for like 10 minutes, you know? Sun hasn't come out. Damn, look at the size of these rocks. That must have been some work. Whatever, big vehicles came into, like caterpillars or whatnot. Folks, just dumping bikes like that. It is what it is. Whoever's in here right now, right? First and foremost, I appreciate you checking in. And just let me know if you can hear me properly, if the audio is fine. Like I said, I'm trying something different today. I'm working stereo, 2 mics. So I want to see if the sound is coming in properly. So let me know if the audio is good. And someone in the chat, just let me know. Like, are we good with the levels, with the audio? Just throw a thumbs up or an emoji, whatever you want to throw in, to let me know that you can hear just fine and that the audio is good, so we can just continue, because otherwise I'll just go back to 1 mic. But I'm trying something different. I wanted to try stereo today and see if we could actually try 2 mics. I know it's probably overkill, but hey, why not, I'm gonna get into this building right here and we're gonna show and prove. And when it comes to like constructive criticism, you listen to it, because it's important. But when it comes to negativity and hate, you shrug it off, and you have to have thick skin for that. Because these goofballs out here are just going to continue to do that. That's just what they do, So it is what it is. Okay. So just get it going. And let's make it happen, right? Okay. We're gonna show and prove. Like I said, anyone in the chat, if you're able to, just throw up an emoji to let me know that you can hear me just fine and that the audio is coming in properly. Okay. Damn, that was a crazy shock. Not one pull-up was done. Let me just see if I can zoom in because I think it's important to do so. Let me actually, just bear with me. Let me get this right, okay? Just give me a second. Okay, just give me a second. Okay, boom, that's better. Okay. Let me see if that is decent. I don't like that it's not centered. That's a little bit better. Okay. Okay, that's good. That's much better. Boom. There we go. Okay. Yeah, that's not bad. All right. Just do a couple of, let me just warm up a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Can you hear me? Okay. Not one pull-up was done. Okay? Pay attention to my arms. Pay attention to where the bar is. One. One. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 11, if I'm not mistaken. Not one pull-up was done. We're at 11, right? And feel free to chime in if you spot anything off with my pull-ups. Not one pull-up was done. Look at my arms. 2. We're at 12. And if you're in this live and you can hear me, feel free to chime in. You know, I welcome all comments. Negative, positive, doesn't matter. We're at 12, right? And you can sit back, you know, have your your Dunkin' or your Starbucks, your honey bun, your popcorn. Sit back, this is gonna take a while. I'm gonna keep switching up grips too. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I zoomed in on purpose. 5, 6. You hear me touching the mic, right? 7, 8, 9, 10. 22. Not one pull-up was done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 50. Not one. Pay attention to the arms. That's 3. We're at 23 right now. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I owe. 7, 8, 9, 33. Not one pull-up was done. Not one. $34. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
75. We're just going to keep knocking them out as we go. $35. Not one. One. Two. Three. Four. Five. We're at 40. You know, I read a while back, right? Arnold Schwarzenegger's book. It's called the Encyclopedia of Bodybuilding. I think that's what the name of it is. And he said, regardless of the workout, he would do 50 pull-ups, chin-ups, whatever, on the bar, right? He would do 50 every day. And that was just like the prerequisite. That was like mandatory. You know, I always carried that with me. So when I say not one pull-up was done, right? You're right. You could clearly see not one was done. You're 100% right. Not one pull-up was done. We're at 46. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 2, 3, 4. That's 100. It's 100. And let me know. Is today the 14th? I think today's the 14th, right? Friday? Not Friday the 13th, but Friday the 14th, if I'm not mistaken. Someone in the chat, just let me know if that's correct. You know, it's amazing to me. Like, to each to each their own, right? You're free to come and go, check in, which I appreciate every person that checks in, but it's amazing. People have the gall to come in and just put all that energy to spew a whole bunch of hateful comments. But if I'm over here like, yo, let me know if the audio's coming in properly, or like, let me know about the date, silence. But you'll spend like all that time to say something incredibly hateful and negative. Okay, here we go. Not one pull-up was done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're at 50. You're right. Not one was done. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 40, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 50, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 60, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 70, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 80, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 90, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Ooh, man, the burn. That is a burn and a half. Not one pull-up was done. We're at 51. In case you're wondering, right? Like how many are gonna be done? Well, I'm aiming for Will Chamberlain, you know? I'm aiming for Will Chamberlain. So I figure if not one was done, we 100X on it goofy heads. You know, when you see the thumbnail, I don't know if you can see the thumbnail right now, right? It's just basically a Joker, right? I don't know if you can see it. It's a Joker. Any hateful comment? And let me take a break from this for a second. I'll be right back on that, right? So if we okay, that's seems like it'll work, hopefully. Okay, be right back. Hopefully you can hear me, you know? No one's letting me know if the audio's coming in okay or not, but I'm just assuming the audio's okay. So this was an example of like constructive criticism, right? which is perfectly fine. And, you know, for whoever the person is saying, remember to pay attention to the comments, believe me, I do, you know. And I'm as appreciative, as constructive as I can, as the people coming into this chat, this live stream. I appreciate that. I'm appreciative of constructive criticism in the comments as well. So believe me, I pay attention. Okay. So when we do, because this is just a different isolated form of doing preacher curls, right? So if we're gonna work the bottom, right? Boom, I'm touching the bottom, so can't go any lower than that, right? So believe me, I know the value of the bottom as well, right? In fact, if you want a better angle, just so you can see, we'll do it this way. So you can see better. Okay. Okay. Boom. Touching the bottom. Squeeze at the top. Work the negatives. Full range of motion. Boom. Okay. So, trust and believe. Whether we're doing, and you know, there may not be, like I can literally, you know, I have a preacher. There's a preacher curl bar here as well, like an S bar, but this is an attachment piece. It would be the same thing, right? So if we go down, boom, whether with weight or without weight, I know the value. Trust and believe. Okay? So just demonstrating. Okay? So I know what is important there. So I'm not taking away from that whatsoever. Okay. Back to our regular scheduled programming, right? Now, one pull-up was done. Okay? Not one, huh? Okay. I think we're at 51. 52. 53. 54. 55. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think that's 50. I'll just do another 5 just to make sure. Okay. I'm at 150 on the calf raises. One, 2, We're at 60. Oh, here we go. Here we go with the comments. Here we go with the comments, buddy. Oh, why? Why must you negative tinged people be this way? Huh? Why must you be this way? Why must you be this way? That has got to be one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. You know, with all due respect, JL, that's got to be one of the most idiotic things I've ever heard. Body weight calf raises are pointless? Are you like, what is wrong with you? That's like saying push-ups are pointless or pull-ups are pointless. Are you like, what is wrong with you? But just for that idiotic comment, here you go. Yeah, and there's resistance there. There's weight there. Just for your idiotic comment, because that's really one of the dumbest things I've heard. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Let me hear what smart comment you have to say on pull-ups now. You do pull-ups that's that easy, but use body weight for calves. No, pull-ups are not easy for me, and nor are calves because they're burning. Oh, you've lifted for over 20 years, so that makes you an expert. Got it. Push-ups, you know. Oh, trust me, I'm not mad, brother. I'm not mad. And pull-ups are not easy for me. And I started pull-ups. First off, thank you for checking in because I asked to see if, the audio was good. So indirectly, you're letting me know that the audio is good because clearly you think I'm upset. But I think it is quite an idiotic comment to say that. And I'm not mad, bro. I'm not upset. I'm not angry. I just think it's foolish to say that calf raises are pointless. So let me go back to, you don't care. Who's getting upset? You're saying, because there are a lot of people that have been working out for 30 years. That doesn't actually mean they're like experts in what they say. But look at what the first thing you said here is. Body weight for calf raises is actually pointless. So you see me over here working out, right? And you come in here and say, what I'm doing is it just has no relevance. Like it is actually, it's just a complete waste of time is what you're saying. And you're trying to tell me that that's not negative. Explain that one to me. While I go back to this, these pointless calf raises, and then I go over there to resistance seated calf raises for soleus. Mr. Expert. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Do a Google search on that too. Put your own comment in and put into Google, put in the search, put in, are body weight calf raises pointless? I'm curious to see what Google is going to tell you on that one. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 6, 7, 8, 9, 40, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 50. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 60. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 70. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 80. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 90. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 250. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Another 10 just for, for good luck because they're useless. I sleep the same way any woman would sleep with long hair, Mr. DiCaprio, I mean, I don't know, maybe you could care to elaborate on exactly, like, what exactly is fascinating about how to sleep with a long beard. Here we go with some resistance for Mr. JL, because body weight is like pointless. There's no point in doing body weight calf raises. So, you know what? Maybe there's some validity to it, Maybe JL has a point on those 250 calf raises I did for gastrocnemius was completely pointless. So just in case JL is correct, because I want to explore the possibility that doing body weight calf raises standing for gastrocs were completely useless. Let me just focus on what I really want to do, which is soleus, and I'm going to do it with resistance so it quells JL's anxiety about how useless it is to do this particular type of area of the body without resistance. So with resistance, it means something, but without resistance, it's completely useless. It's pointless, right, JL? Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay. All right, here we go. If you call doing pull-ups easy in the midst of, you're like one of those people who give like this off kind of like sarcastic, negative tinged comment and then sneak in a like, it's not even a compliment. It's like one of those like, okay, so your form of a compliment is like, you think those are easy for me because, because the next person who's negative might be like, oh, he only weighs that much. That's why he could do that. You're like one of those people who's like, oh, you do pull-ups easy. No, they're not easy. I started pull-ups late in my life, and they're actually very difficult. Just like deadlifts are difficult for me. Push-ups are actually very easy for me because I started early in life and I stayed with it. So if you call that like a compliment and you think this is anger, I don't know what to tell you. This is not anger, bro. So, and again, respectfully, take it easy. I am not angry. You really see angry whatsoever, and I'm not going to get angry. I just think it's for someone to come in and be like, you see someone, like if you were to have, let me just put this out there, right? If you were to have a live stream, and let's just say I stumbled in on your live stream, I wouldn't take the time out to come into your live stream and then take the energy to put this like comment saying, those push-ups you're doing, like you should be doing those push-ups with like a weighted vest on, because you doing push-ups just with just your own body weight is pointless, buddy. Imagine that. Imagine me taking the time out to go into your live stream. I just stumbled in on your live stream and I just like, I see you working out. Like you're actually taking the time to like better yourself. And I come into your live stream and I say, what you're doing is useless. Think about how you sound, man. I'm not angry. I just think that's like, besides the point that it's negative, which is the whole point of this entire live stream of not just one pull-up, because someone actually said that in the comments. So now I'm disproving that, like you're right. It's not just one pull-up. It's many times that. But the fact that there are many people like that, which come in and try and disprove someone's hard work by saying it's pointless to do that, it just baffles me, you know? You don't even know me and you're coming in to just take the time to like discredit what I'm doing. And I just think that's like, you wouldn't do that to a person out in the park. Like if you go in the park and like, let's say you're doing whatever in the park and you just go in, you get that person's attention and you let them know like, yo, what you're doing right there, that's pointless, buddy. Not one pull-up. We're at 66. One, two, three, four. That's 70. Well, all this that's coming out, I think you're getting triggered here. That's actually cute, you know? Keep talking. Keep talking. And the only reason you're dispelling all this energy right now is because you know I'm right, you know? You know, to come into someone's space and to try and discredit what they're doing is not a cool move. It's just not. Like whatever you want to say right now, it's not cool to come in and just, and that's not a compliment, bro. That's like, it's not how you compliment people. You don't hit them first thing by a negative and then try and like sneak in some sort of like sarcastic in the flow of being negative and then try and fall back on that and say, that was my compliment to you. That's not how you compliment people. And you know, like, if you get out of your emotions right now, because you're over here busy saying, I'm angry, but if you get out of your emotions and like think logically for a second, you'll know that's true, you know? So just take it easy for a second, regroup, and let's start over. And let's have constructive dialogue, you know? If you want to feed me constructive criticism, I'm more than happy to pay attention. And I welcome you. But you know what? If you want to stay negative and then keep thinking you actually gave me a compliment, you could do that too. I just don't think you even believe that, you know, to be honest. And I think deep down, if you like actually just calm down for a second, just take it easy, regroup, you'll know that's true. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. By the way, anyone coming in, it's like, I said this numerous times, but I just want to say thank you for checking in. Oh, I should have known better. Did you literally just say, "You're brown, I get it"? That basically says everything right there. You're brown, I get it. Okay. I think anyone who comes in and is actually able to see like your true self coming out, and that's another thing. Like, I'm assuming you got to be, someone to even pull out a race card or a color card. That says it all right there, Mr. JL. Because I wouldn't, me personally, I don't see colors. I don't see, if you're white, if you're black, if you're brown, if you're yellow, if you're red, orange, purple, it doesn't matter. It has nothing to do with anything. So, your true colors just came out. Never fails. Not one pull-up was done. We're at 71. Here we go. Paw on my back. JL. 1, 2, 3, 75. Wow, are you still going, bro? And you're over here getting racist, calling me angry, and just getting more and more upset by the minute. But like I always say, anyone that wants to come in and be racist, pull out, color issues, if you want to be a colorist, you want to be a racist, you want to be any of those things, feel free. I won't ever have any mods in here checking you. You can throw your swastikas up. You can throw in whatever you want to throw in. None of it is going to bother me, I live in a country where at least they say we have a basic right to freedom of speech. So feel free to spew as much negativity and hate as you want. That's actually the whole premise to today's live stream, because every person that comes out and displays themselves, let me guess, I go into your page and you don't show your face, you're completely anonymous, you're probably talking about other people's stuff. You might be, pointing out, you might be posting about someone else, whoever, and you probably have nothing talking about yourself or showing yourself. Just never fails. Okay, not one pull-up was done. We're at 76. And are you still calling me angry? You're calling me angry, but you're calling me a loser. Make it make sense, JL. In a second, I'm just going to let you go because you've already proven yourself to not even, you lost all credibility and you've proven yourself to not actually feed into anything else you say from this point onward. So anyone else who wants to change the topic and actually talk about something a little bit more constructive, I welcome you. Because JL is like, again, I don't have mods that will put you on timeout, but I think you put yourself on timeout. Go to a corner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. Here we go. Not one pull-up was done. We're at 76. Oh, we didn't go close grip. Paw on my back, JL. While you stay in the corner over there on timeout. 1, 2, 3, 4, 80. I'm gonna do like a few more seated for soleus, and then we'll move on. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. Here we go. Not one pull-up was done. '81. Go a little wide grip on these. Overhand, neutral grip. 1, 2, 3, 4, 85. How much time has passed? Okay, we're a little over an hour right now. That's cool. That's the thing about calisthenics. Like, I could knock out a whole back routine or a leg routine when we're just doing resistance in like 25 minutes. You know, like 4 exercises, 3 sets, 3 sets per exercise, 12 total sets. Just really focus, concentrate, knock it out. I could knock it out in 25 minutes. But when it comes to calisthenics, yeah, I'm doing a little talking here and there, but this takes a lot longer, you know, because there's so much more volume. It's one of those things. Okay. Not one pull-up was done. '86. And I keep switching the grip up, so you already know. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 90. Dropping Will Chamberlain numbers on their heads. Let someone say not one push-up was done. I'll do 1,000 push-ups next. Talk to me about one pull-up. Can't be serious. Not one pull-up was done. '91. Let this be a lesson. Do you know how many times we talk about, you know, however many years of experience? Do you know how many times in my life I have done 100 perfect form pull-ups in my life? For anyone to come out here around these parts and talk to me about not doing one pull-up, come on now. One, 2, 3, 4. That's 95. You know, and it's a good thing nowadays. And it's so funny how, because the whole premise about not one pull-up was done, right? Like, and I don't have, there's nothing in my mind that says, you know, because yesterday I was on live and someone came in, was talking about like how Western countries are like better, you know, and that's that person's opinion. I don't think that way, right? We were talking about Pakistan and India, like different countries, but like according to how this person was thinking, reminds me of this person too, like where you basically say, you know, some specific color or some specific group of people or any of those things are like, you know, lesser in any type of way, or people from the West are better. I don't think that way, you know? I won't ever think that way. Doesn't matter if one country is developed and another one is developing. I just won't think that way, you know, because you have to be open-minded to understand the history. You have to understand a lot of factors that make you realize why that point is moved. You know, that it wouldn't make sense to me any which way you look at it. So when I look at like the cultural influence of Westerners, and it's sad because you'll have people from like the East that come in, and a lot of these sayings originate from the West, you know? And like you are actually getting these sayings from people out here, you know? But you're using it against people out here in negative ways. So that whole comment of not one pull-up was done, chances are that whole trend of negativity originated here. And now you're out there and you're coming in randomly and spewing this negativity, and you've been influenced by people from these places. It's kind of like in prison. A lot of the lingo that you hear, a lot of the slang, yeah, it comes from the streets, but it also like, it gets tweaked in prison and then it comes out, you know? A lot of different styles, of different ways, mannerisms, all this stuff comes from certain places, and then it gets tweaked, it comes out, and then like people like modify it in like these weird ways, you know? So that whole not one pull-up was done, it blows my mind. Like I'm over here, like I wouldn't ever like use something where there's some sort of cultural influence that came my way, and then I'm gonna then spew it back like in a negative way to wherever. It just blows my mind. It's crazy to me. 96. So here's an example of how the culture is actually doing the opposite in a positive way. So the trend now is like shorties, right? So when you do push-ups and you're doing these so-called shorties as opposed to full range of motion, because you'll have people like who I'm talking about saying not one pull-up was done, right? Because as opposed to doing something like what I've been doing, full range of motion, perfect form, right? Just to make a point. You know, you're doing like concentrated on the muscle, on focusing on the muscle. Like you can make that mind muscle connection, mind body connection, and really focus on the area. Because yeah, when you do full range of motion, FROM, yeah, you're lengthening the muscles. But a lot of the times, you're just cranking out these reps, but you're not really focusing. So just because it looks good, because you're doing this full range, people are like, yeah, that's great. That person, respect, that person did it correctly. But in actuality, you'll have a lot of people that do shorties and they have better physiques. It's not that they can't do a full range of motion. So for you to be like discrediting a person because it didn't look good, but they're hitting the muscles, that's pointless to me. So that's why when I see the trend of shorties coming in now and like people following it, you like now the people that follow that, because yeah, it's a sign of intelligence to be able to be adaptable and change your opinions. Kind of like crypto. Like you have a lot of these people, Michael Saylor, Donald Trump, all these people that shitted on Bitcoin for the longest, and now they're all supporting it, countries, nation states, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That is a sign of intelligence. But throughout that time, when you were crapping on whatever it was, you were dead wrong. So all these people for the longest that have been crapping on anything that wasn't full range of motion, now you're changing your mind because you see these shorties coming in and you're like, oh, look at this person's physique. Look how they crank out these reps. And you know that, of course, they could crank out full range at any time. But they know that they can make a better mind-muscle connection by doing those shorties because they're focusing on the area. So it's just crazy to me, you know? But it's a good thing that shorties are coming into a trending place in the fitness industry, you know? Because we've been doing that for the longest, and we've been getting muscle hypertrophy for the longest. 1, 2, 3. That's 100. Straight up drop the Will Chamberlain on your goofy heads, you know? Whoever said, whoever said, 100 was, one pull-up was something that, like, was not done, right? So now, what we're going to do is, and it just goes to show, like, how people are, like, such followers, you know? Because as soon as something comes into, like, oh, it's trending, now you all start following, you know? Like, where's the individualism? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. Oof. Oh, man. That burns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Ooh. Hey, Destiny. I appreciate the compliment. I've been growing it this most recent time for about 6 years. It took me about 6 years. You know, I just left it alone, left my hair alone, and I was like, we're just gonna... Because as a man, when you're constantly shaving and you're like, oh, I gotta get my line up a certain way, or I gotta get my taper a certain way, and I gotta get it, I appreciate it. I gotta constantly be on top of it. It's not that I'm being lazy. It's just the fact that in hindsight now, when I haven't been doing all that maintenance on my beard and my hair, it's so liberating. Because when I first started, a lot of people were like, oh, girls are not gonna like you, people are not gonna like you, and this was when I first started, because I cut my beard like 3 times, right? Literally chopped it off here, started over 3 times. So this most recent time was 6 years ago, right? But they were like, this was back like 2012. They were like, yo, this is like when this whole terrorism thing was big. And like, they were like, oh, we're gonna call you a terrorist and all that stuff, right? And I was just like, I don't care, really. Because if a person doesn't like me for who I am and how I choose to present myself, then they're not for me, you know? So anyone that comes by and says anything negative, it's just not a person that I would like to be. And if they come out and say, like, I respect when people come out and say whatever they say, because you might think, like, oh, I'm angry or whatever people over here in the comments are saying, that's not true. Because a part of me says to myself, anyways, and I'm just saying it out loud right now, like I respect that because even though it's your true self, like if you say, oh, you're brown, that's expected, right? I respect that in a way because at least you have the guts to say that, you know? So I could respect that as opposed to like keeping it to yourself. But at the same time, it's like now I look at you like if we were to ever be like cool and cordial, I'm always gonna remember that that side of you came out. And that's really how you are, you know? Because I don't care if you're Irish or if you're, you know, Korean or if you're Dominican or if you're African American or whatever. None of that. Like, but there's not a human being on earth, doesn't matter what you are, what you claim to be, who you are, whatever it is. I don't see any of that, you know? But that's not how everyone thinks. But I do respect the honesty. So I would prefer that. But like I was saying, in hindsight, now when I look at it, the lack of maintenance for the beard and for the hair and all that stuff, I have so much more time to do other things now, you know? So I really enjoy that because now I don't have to put so much time into the maintenance of my beard and my hair. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 8, 2, 1. Guess I could just tilt this way. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. Let's get it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11, 12, 11, 8. Almost done. Almost done. Oof. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, See how I'm going from one to the next, right? No break. This is how I like to do it. But man, that lactic acid, when it starts building, oof, it's no joke. You know, when I did the pull-ups, at least I was taking some breathers, you know. That's how I was able to knock out 100. And that's why this took so long. But, you know, 250 calf raises, about 50 seated calf raises, another 50 tibialis work for the shins, another 100 push-ups, you know. We're knocking it all out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Blood is flowing. Last set. And like I said yesterday in the live, you know, I do my best to stay as positive as possible, but at the same time, I'm not just gonna be like fake happy-go-lucky, you know? If someone comes in and it's like, it's not me being angry or anything. Believe me, you haven't seen angry. But I'm not just gonna be fake, and I'm not gonna just let everything slide, you know? Maybe later on when it just, like there's just a whole bunch of people and like a bunch of negativity, yeah, I'll probably let a whole bunch of stuff slide. But when it's still intimate, I gotta check you, you know? Because there's gonna be a time when I'm not gonna be checking people anymore. I said in the comments a long time ago, you know, well, not that long ago, but I said I was probably gonna stop with the comments, which I did. And I'm saying right now, at some time in the future, at some point in the future, I'm gonna probably stop engaging as much, even here in these live streams, you know? It's just gonna be business. And when I say business, I don't mean money. It's just like, this is how we get money. We do stuff like this. Every rep is the money that we're getting. And that's what I mean by business. Just go right into it. I don't have time for like the hate. Especially to engage and interact with hate. It's like all that to just see your true colors come out. That was like, then you got to look back in hindsight and be like, oh, what was the point of that? You know, just to see this person's true colors come out. Like, that was a waste. Okay, last set. Here we go, last set. Not one pull-up was done, right? Of course not, because we 100x on these goofballs. Dropping Will Chamberlain numbers. And I appreciate every person that came in, checked in. Hopefully this provides some sort of inspiration for your day, your evening, your night, or tomorrow. And you take it, and you don't have to go work out as a result. I mean, just apply it to your life in whatever way. Like, I'm going to be more productive in whatever way, because this person with the beard just gave me inspiration, and now I'm going to knock out more chores, or I'm going to achieve something that I've been meaning to get done. And this just provided a little bit of motivation or inspiration to get it done, That's what it's all about. So hopefully I gave you some energy to achieve your own form of greatness. And that's it. It's really cold out here, so, I'm gonna stay nice and bundled and get back on the road again. Yeah, hopefully that gave some inspiration. And, I'll stay on the live for a little longer. And if anyone has any questions or comments. What's interesting? When I came here, it was still dark outside. And now, it is definitely bright outside. What I notice is, when I have this on live stream, there's no video stabilization. So I know this is like super shaky. As opposed to if it was like a regular video, whether it's a shorts or whatever, it's just a regular camera through the phone, and I keep it on high settings because there's video stabilization on the higher settings. What a difference. Because on live stream, it's like, this thing is shaky when I walk. But it's all good. I'm about to put this on hands-free in a minute. And then we can continue, but in the vehicle and driving. Had a good workout. Have fun. Like I said, I'm not always going to expel unnecessary energy to check people, because it's unnecessary, right? All that energy for what? Like I said, just for people to show their true colors. Not interested. So, look, it's Yonkers. Why-yo. Okay. So, I use this right here. Like, literally
fourth finger, third finger, which is the middle finger, pointer finger, pinky, and then when you do it for a while, like you get used to it, and then it gets easier and easier. And then you'll notice yourself like you can actually squeeze harder. You know, then you switch grips. It's really cool. You know, I've had this for a while, but I use it from time to time. It's like, it's literally like 40 degrees out here. No joke. Hopefully the audio came out good. This is the first time I'm actually using two mics. As I was saying in the beginning of this whole live stream, I was like, I hope this is not overkill, you know, because I've never used two mics before and then put the settings in on stereo. But I thought it would be cool to at least try it and see what, you know, it came out like. So I can't wait to actually go back and listen to it and see what it sounded like. Okay. If anyone has anything they want to know about Yonkers, New York, or the Bronx, let me know. Because I'm back on the road. And I might be able to help you out. You know, if you're not from around town, if you're not from New York. It doesn't have to just be Yonkers or the Bronx neither. Because around this area of New York, everything is kind of like not too far away, you know? But yeah, that was the whole point of today's live stream, was just to prove the point on the so-called not just one pull-up was done, you know? And I think I rested my case, right? Because homeboy was right. Not just one pull-up was actually done. So I dropped a Will Chamberlain on them. And 100x that. Sometimes that's what you have to do, you know? You take it personal without taking it personal. You take it personal without technically taking it personally. You know, that's what happened there. And like I said in the live stream, let someone tell me not one push-up was done. I might 1,000x on them. You know. So, yeah, and that's really it. And one last time, just want to thank people for checking in. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, I'm going to continue with the rest of my day. I hope you all have a great one. And as usual, thanks for checking in. And till